Ah, my alphas, tonight we gather in the shadows not because we are afraid of the dark, but because we know we belong to it. Tonight, we do not whisper, we do not tread softly, we do not cower before the silence of the void. We become it. This world has taught you to speak in quiet tones, to show your teeth only in smiles, to bite your tongue, to numb your fire. But let me tell you something, carved not in scripture, but in bone. Your mindset is a mystery, and you're not revealing. And that is your power. You walk among sheep wearing the mask of your potential half-born. You suffocate your instinct so others can sleep peacefully in their mediocrity. You dull your edge, not because it is right, but because you've been told that your sharpness cuts too deep, that your hunger offends the full. But who are they to limit you? Who are they to decide the volume of your roar? Do they bleed when you bleed? Do they rise when you rise? Number, they only chant when you fall. So listen closely. This is your awakening, not with love, not with light, but with rage so ancient it could shatter stars. You have a monster inside, don't you? No, don't flinch. Look me in the eye and admit it. You've heard it. You've felt it crawling beneath your skin in moments of quiet rebellion. That monster is not evil. That monster is you, unchained, the purest version, the untamed will of a god, forced into a cage of flesh and fear. Your mindset is a labyrinth, twisted by every lie they fed you as a child, every rule they etched into your spine, every dream they told you was too big, too much, too loud. And instead of burning those chains, you swallowed them whole. You made their limits your logic. But that ends tonight. You weren't born to bend. You were forged to break the cycle. The world may not know your fire yet because you haven't allowed it to see the real inferno. You mask your genius in politeness, your strategy in silence, your brilliance in self-doubt. You carry entire empires in your skull, and yet you let commoners critique your blueprint. How dare you? How dare you lower your voice for people who cannot comprehend the language of your ambition? Your mindset is not their map. It's a code encrypted with pain, failure, discipline, resurrection. And the only key is the war you are willing to wage for your own evolution. You see, mystery isn't weakness, it's weaponry. Every time they try to read you, they come up empty-handed, because you have built walls made of your scars and doors guarded by your darkest lessons. You do not explain your path because it's not for them to follow. You walk roads that cut like razors, barefoot, smiling. And they ask why you bleed. They do not know you've bled for power. They do not know pain is your priest and suffering your sanctuary. You chose fire. You chose cold. You chose isolation not because you're broken, but because silence makes your voice sharper when it returns. They told you to be humble, but humility without self-respect is submission. They told you to be kind, but kindness without boundaries is self-erasure. You've been taught to make yourself small, to shrink so they can shine. But you are done, aren't you? I see it now. The twitch in your jaw, the storm behind your gaze, the stillness of someone who's about to unleash something that has been locked behind too many damn doors. You owe no one your peace if it costs your potential. Let that sink in. You owe no one clarity if their understanding cannot carry the weight of your vision. You do not have to water down your essence just so they can drink from the shallow end of your soul. You are a flood. You are a war cry. You are a prophecy spoken in a forgotten tongue. And that mystery, that sacred silence you guard, that is your battlefield. Every step you take without explaining yourself, every goal you chase without permission, every win you celebrate in silence, it terrifies them. Because mystery invites speculation. And when they cannot read you, they fear you. When they fear you, they try to contain you. And when they cannot contain you, they break. Let them. Let them choke on their confusion while you build in shadows. Let them whisper lies while you scream truth into your own mind. Let them fall asleep, thinking they know you, while you tear through dimensions they'll never reach. Because your mindset isn't supposed to make sense to anyone who hasn't bled for the same destiny. You are not here to be understood. You are here to dominate. And dominance is not volume, it's presence. It's that silent stare that breaks egos. It's the decision made in solitude that destroys empires. It's the midnight grind, the invisible sacrifice, the unposted struggle. You don't need applause. You need alignment. You don't need praise. You need pain. Because every second of suffering has sculpted you into this creature of will, of force, of unstoppable, unexplainable becoming. The mystery is not your weakness, it's your throne. Your enemies will try to decode you. Your friends will try to soften you. Your family will try to save you from yourself. But the truth is, they're trying to save themselves from what you becoming will make them realize about themselves. You are the reminder that they settled, that they quit, that they bowed, that they blinked, and that is why they fear the mystery of you. Let them fear it. Let them tremble while you evolve. Let them write stories about who you are, because they'll never get the privilege of knowing who you've truly become. This version of you, the silent killer, the strategist, the lone wolf who chose to make pain his language. This version doesn't need validation. You move like shadow. You think like fire. You execute like fate. You are inevitable, and no one sees it coming because you've wrapped yourself in smoke. They can't decode you because there is no code, just chaos, mastered. And when you strike, it won't be fair. It won't be clean. It won't be poetic. It will be savage and necessary, because for too long you were told to wait your turn, to be patient, to smile, to compromise. But you've tasted blood now. You've heard the silence of solitude and found something deeper than acceptance. You found the voice beneath the voice, the core beneath the costume. You found that your mystery isn't a mask, it's a mirror, and you finally looked into it. You didn't flinch, you smiled, because now you know this war you're in, this battle to rise, this grind that grates at your soul. It's not punishment. It's prophecy. You were built for this. And now, your mindset isn't just a mystery. It's a weapon, forged in silence, loaded with fury, aimed at every version of yourself that ever doubted your divinity. So tonight, my alphas, do not whisper, do not explain, do not dilute. Be silent, be sharp, be inevitable. Do not soften the edge you've carved into your soul just to be digestible. They want you tame because they can't handle truth. Not the truth of what you become, not the truth of your stillness, not the truth of the war you've waged in your own mind. Most men sleep through life. You have been burning through it. You've walked through your own hell, bled in silence, stitched your flesh with conviction. And now, they call you cold, because you no longer flinch. They call you distant, because they can't reach you. But let them speak. Let them name you what they fear. You were never meant to be understood by the untested, because what lives inside you now is not a dream. It's a demand to rise, a demand to dominate, a demand to make this world bend, not to ask it for space, but to carve it with your bare hands. You don't beg the world for a seat. You break the table and build your own. And those who watched you in your silence will pretend they were always with you. Let them. You owe no one the blueprint to your grind. They weren't there in the nights when you broke, when your bones ached from carrying your own damn soul up the mountain. You rebuilt alone. You trained in the dark. And now, you move like vengeance. There's something holy about quiet rage, the kind that doesn't explode, it executes. That's what you carry now. Not noise, but the pure pressure of knowing exactly what you are. That pressure that crushes lesser men, that breaks the backs of pretenders. You wear it like armor. You turn it inward until your very blood becomes fuel. You've replaced comfort with focus, validation with solitude, and applause with execution. You don't speak of your goals because they don't deserve your words. They will see the results and be silenced. They always said, "You've changed." Damn right. You mutated. You evolved beyond recognition. You killed the version of you that begged, that explained, that hoped. Now you calculate. You move. You take what's yours because you were made to. There's nothing noble about waiting for permission. There's nothing sacred about restraint when the fire inside you is meant to reshape reality. You weren't born for balance. You were born for dominion. And make no mistake, alphas. This is not about aggression. This is about clarity. The clarity of knowing who you are and what must be done. The clarity of silencing the noise, the doubt, the false comfort of excuses. It's about execution. Ruthless, relentless, precise. You don't flinch. You don't hope. You calculate, you aim, you strike. Your mystery? It isn't confusion, it's control. The less they know, the more you control the battlefield. They will wonder how you do it, how you keep rising when everything should have broken you. It's because you stopped listening to them. You stopped trying to prove your worth in their eyes. You stopped speaking in the language of the weak. Now you speak only in movement, only in power, only in results. You became an anomaly, a ghost in the system, unpredictable, unexplainable, unstoppable. Do you know what happens when a man refuses to explain himself? The world starts to write myths about him. They guess, they whisper, they create stories. Because the unknown shakes their foundations. The unknown cannot be tamed. And you, in your silence, become legend. You become nightmare. You become proof that the human spirit, when unleashed from the chains of people-pleasing and mediocrity, is a force no cage can hold. You are not here to be studied. You are here to conquer. Yes, you have failed. Yes, you have suffered. But that pain was currency. That suffering was training. Every moment you were alone, screaming inside your mind, wanting to give up, that is when you were forged, not when they cheered, not when they believed, when you stood alone and bled without an audience and kept walking. That's when your mindset became more than thought. It became war. They don't know what it cost you to become this focused. They don't know the nights you spent rehearsing your future while they scrolled, laughed, slept. They don't know how many times you buried doubt in the graveyard of your chest. And they will never know. Because that story belongs to you, and only you. Let them see the crown, but not the scars. Let them see the throne, but not the battlefield. You owe them nothing but your silence. There's no arrival for men like you. No finish line. Just deeper levels of mastery. Just new battles. You were not made for rest. You were made to reign. And that reign will be misunderstood, hated, feared. But it will be undeniable. The men who walked beside you and chose comfort will try to return once they see your fire lighting the sky. But you will not go back. You cannot. Because you burned the bridge on purpose. You didn't retreat. You shed your past like skin. You don't want revenge anymore. You want legacy. And legacy isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the dark, in the repetition, in the obsession. You have no time for distractions. You are haunted by the clock, by the whisper of death that follows every waking hour. And so you run, not from fear, but from mediocrity. You chase your own ghost, The version of you that could have been if only you'd given everything. That version taunts you in your dreams, stares at you in the mirror, and every day you fight to catch him. That's what makes you dangerous. You're not fighting them, you're fighting you. You don't want to beat others. You want to surpass your own potential. You want to go to bed exhausted knowing you squeezed every drop from the day. And when you die, you want to be empty. No dreams left untried. No words left unsaid. No battles left untouched. You want the world to say, he was the storm we never saw coming, and they never will. Because you're not showing your hand, you're not explaining your moves, you're not broadcasting your ambition. You're walking the path alone, with clenched fists and steady breath, eyes locked forward. They can't follow. They weren't built for this altitude. You suffocate them with your silence, because silence makes weak men panic. But not you. You thrive in it. And maybe that's why you've always felt out of place. You weren't made for this world. You were made to rebuild it. Let them gossip. Let them watch. Let them pretend they understand. Meanwhile, you build, you train, you plot, you strike. And when you arrive, you won't knock. You'll kick the door off the hinges and walk in like you always owned the room. Because you did. You just didn't feel the need to announce it. And when they ask how you did it, you'll say nothing. You'll smile. Because the truth is, you became the mystery you once feared. You leaned into the unknown. You became the weapon. You made your mind a temple and your discipline the religion. And now, they kneel. They stare. They wonder. But they'll never know. The truth is, they can never understand what you are becoming because they are too busy trying to understand a version of you that no longer exists. They will try to place you in boxes they themselves created, fitting you into a category they can comprehend. They will want to label you so they can control the narrative of your life. But what they fail to realize is that you are the author, not them. You don't exist for them to understand. You exist to rewrite what it means to be human, to defy every expectation, to break every mold. And when they try to follow, to mirror your every step, they will fail because your path was never meant for them. It was meant for you. They will try to dissect your actions, analyze your motives, but they will never get to the core of who you are. Why? Because you are a living, breathing contradiction. You are silence and storm, calm and chaos, light and shadow. And in that duality, they will always be lost. You will remain an enigma, a riddle that they can never solve. And that is your strength. You are unpredictable. They cannot anticipate your next move. They cannot anticipate your rise. But you already know. You already see your future. It's written in your blood, your sweat, your tears. You've been forging this destiny every single day, one decision at a time. And now you stand on the precipice of your true power, looking down at everything you've overcome, everything you've sacrificed, and feeling the gravity of it all. They might look at your success, your power, your transformation, and say, it's luck. They will attribute it to chance, to timing, to the circumstances of life, but they won't see the hours spent in the dark, the moments when you doubted everything, but kept pushing forward. They won't see the nights you cried and wiped your tears on your sleeves, the mornings you woke up exhausted, but forced yourself to rise again. They won't see how many times you wanted to quit, and yet chose to continue, not because you were promised victory, but because your spirit demanded it. You didn't climb this mountain to be seen. You didn't endure this struggle to get the applause of the weak. You climbed because it was your calling, because the pain was the currency for your evolution, because the hardship was the training ground where you became stronger. And now, when you stand at the summit, you don't look down for recognition. You don't wait for others to acknowledge your pain, your journey, your sacrifices. You stand there because you earned it. No one can take that from you. No one can diminish your victory. They can watch in envy. They can gossip in the shadows, but they can never touch what is yours. Your mindset, your vision, your path. These are yours and yours alone. No one can walk in your shoes because they never felt your weight. They don't know how much it cost you to get here. They don't know how many battles you fought in the silence, how many times you faced yourself and wondered if it was all worth it. They will try to tear you down, to break your spirit, but they will never succeed because you have already broken. And from those pieces, you built yourself stronger, fiercer, more determined. And this is where you stand now, at the threshold of something greater than even you anticipated. You stand here, not as someone who is just surviving, but as someone who is thriving, someone who is evolving into the person they always knew they could be, the person they always knew they had to be in order to change the game. You didn't come this far to be a shadow of yourself. You came this far to take your rightful place as the storm, as the power that shifts everything in its wake. You are the hurricane in a world full of gentle breezes, and when you roar, the earth trembles. Let them say you're ruthless. Let them say you're cold. Let them say whatever they want, because in their words, in their judgments, you hear nothing but the sound of your own victory. Their opinions are not your concern. They never were. And you've known this all along. You don't live for their approval, for their validation. You live for the mission. You live for the fire in your belly, for the vision you carry with you even when no one else can see it. You live for the hunger that never wanes, for the desire to rise, to evolve, to become something more, something greater, something unstoppable. Every day you wake up, you look in the mirror and you see the warrior staring back at you. You see someone who has been through hell and back, someone who has suffered and still stands tall. You see someone who has been counted out by the world, but who never counted themselves out. You are not their expectations. You are not their limitations. You are your own creation. You are the architect of your fate, the master of your destiny. You do not need anyone's permission to take what is yours. You do not need anyone's approval to make your mark. Your power is in your mindset, and that power cannot be taken from you. It is yours, forever. And this is where the real test begins. The world will watch, the world will wait, and you will rise. You will rise not to prove anyone wrong, but to prove yourself right, to prove that everything you sacrificed, everything you endured, every sleepless night, every tear, every ounce of blood was worth it. You will rise because you know your worth, because you know your power, because you know that you were not born to be ordinary, to be average, to be forgotten. You were born to leave a legacy that will endure long after you're gone, a legacy that will shake the foundations of everything you touch. You are inevitable, unstoppable, unbreakable. You are the storm they will never see coming. You are the mystery they will never solve. And when they look at you, when they wonder how you did it, you will smile, knowing that they will never understand, because they can't. They don't have the heart, the fire, the mindset that you possess. And that, my friend, is the greatest gift of all. Your mindset is a mystery, and you're not revealing it to anyone who hasn't earned the right to see it. You're not here to explain yourself. You're here to dominate, to conquer, to leave an imprint on this world that no one can erase. So walk your path. Stay silent when they question you. Keep your head high, your heart cold, and your eyes locked on the horizon. You are not here to play small. You are here to reshape the world, and you will do it in the silence of your determination, in the mystery of your mindset, in the raw, untamed power of who you have become. In the end, my alphas, remember this. The mystery of your mindset is your greatest weapon. It is the force that will propel you forward when the world tries to pull you back. Let them wonder. Let them speculate, but never reveal your full hand. You are not here to explain. You are here to dominate. Walk with purpose, move with power, and let your actions speak louder than any words could. Your destiny is yours to shape, and nothing can stand in the way of your inevitable rise. Stay silent, stay sharp, and above all, stay relentless. You are unstoppable.